Welcome back, football fans, to the countdown you didn't know your week was missing. Today, we're talking about a footballing nation that gave the world vuvuzelas, the 2010 World Cup, and a midfielder who once played alongside Pelé and somehow still isn't the most famous person at his own dinner table. That's right, we're ranking the top 10 greatest South African soccer players in history. Bafana Bafana legends, Premier League cult heroes, and one goalkeeper who occasionally forgets he's a goalkeeper. Let's get into it. Number 10. Neil Tovey. We start with the man who literally lifted the trophy. Neil Tovey captained South Africa to their one and only Africa Cup of Nations title in 1996, beating Tunisia 2-0 on home soil, in front of a crowd that was approximately 100% losing their minds. Tovey was a no-nonsense central defender, the kind of guy strikers had nightmares about, and the kind of captain who held the trophy up like he personally wasn't going to let go of it for the next 30 years. Spoiler, as a TV pundit, he basically hasn't. Number 9. Itumeleng Khune. Most goalkeepers spend 90 minutes screaming at their defense and praying nobody passes it back to them under pressure. Itumeleng Khune spent his career doing that and occasionally strolling up to take the penalty himself. Widely considered South Africa's greatest ever goalkeeper, Khune captained Kaizer Chiefs for over a decade and built a reputation as a shot stopper so reliable that the team trusted him with set pieces. A goalkeeper taking penalties is the football equivalent of the surgeon also driving the ambulance. Bold. Slightly terrifying, somehow it worked. Number 8. Aaron Mokoena. Nicknamed Imbazo, which translates to the axe, because that's what his tackles felt like to anyone unlucky enough to be on the receiving end. Mokoena became the first South African to reach a century of international caps, captained Bafana Bafana at the 2010 World Cup on home soil, and also captained Portsmouth in the English Premier League. The man basically collected captain's armbands the way other people collect parking tickets. Relentless, dependable, and not someone you wanted to meet in a 50-50 challenge. Number 7. Teko Modise. A box-to-box midfielder so smooth on the ball that Nike once put him in the same exclusive boot lineup as Cristiano Ronaldo and Didier Drogba. Yes, really. 10 players worldwide got that limited edition Mercurial Superfly, and Teko Modise was one of them, which is the football equivalent of being invited to a celebrity dinner party and actually belonging there. He was the heartbeat of the South African Premier Soccer League for over a decade, gliding past defenders like he had somewhere far more important to be. Number 6. Siphiwe Tshabalala. There's scoring a great goal, and then there's scoring the goal that opens the first World Cup ever held on African soil. Siphiwe Tshabalala's thunder of a strike against Mexico in the opening match of the 2010 World Cup is one of the most replayed moments in South African sports history, complete with a celebration dance so iconic it basically deserves its own pension plan. 90 caps, 12 international goals, and one moment that turned an entire continent into a single deafening vuvuzela. Number 5. Dr. Khumalo. Nicknamed Doctor because the way he dribbled past defenders looked less like football and more like minor outpatient surgery. A Kaizer Chiefs icon and one of the most technically gifted midfielders the country has ever produced, Khumalo took his talents across the Atlantic to play in the United States during the 1990s, becoming one of South Africa's earliest football exports. Defenders who faced him reportedly needed a second opinion. Number 4. Jomo Sono. Imagine being good enough at football that Pelé, yes, that Pelé, wanted you on his team. Jomo Sono played alongside the Brazilian legend at the New York Cosmos in the 1970s, becoming a genuine international name during an era when South Africa itself was banned from world football because of apartheid. After hanging up his boots, Sono didn't slow down. He became a club owner and built one of the most recognizable footballing brands in the country. The man went from sharing a locker room with Pelé to running his own empire, which is frankly shown off. Number 3. Pule Ace Ntsolengwe. Here's a name that should be far more famous outside South Africa than it is. Many football historians consider Ace Ntsolengwe the single most talented player the country has ever produced, full stop. Unfortunately, his prime years coincided with South Africa's international ban during apartheid, so the rest of the world barely got to see what local fans already knew. He still made his mark abroad in the North American Soccer League, earning a place in the US National Soccer Hall of Fame. The tragedy isn't that he wasn't good enough for the global stage. It's that the global stage wasn't available to him. Number 2. Lucas Radebe. In Leeds, England, there is a stadium where fans still sing his name decades after he last kicked a ball there. Lucas Radebe captained both Leeds United and South Africa, was adored to the point of near religious devotion by an enthusiast for being essentially too classy for the sport he played. He led Bafana Bafana into 2 World Cups and was voted among the greatest South Africans of all time, not just in football, in the entire country's history. A defender so beloved that legend feels like undersized praise. Number 1. Benni McCarthy. The crown belongs to the man with the numbers to back it up. Benni McCarthy is South Africa's all-time leading goal scorer with 31 goals in 79 appearances. And he didn't pad that stat sheet against weak opposition. He did it while becoming the first and only South African to win the UEFA Champions League, lifting the trophy with Porto in 2004. He topped the scoring charts at the 1998 Africa Cup of Nations, tore up Europe's top leagues for over a decade, and somehow still found time to be a genuinely entertaining personality off the pitch. Goals, trophies, charisma. Benni McCarthy is South African football's complete package and the undisputed
number 1 on this list. And there you have it. 10 legends, 1 Rainbow Nation, and at least 1 goalkeeper who really should stick to goalkeeping. Did we get the order right? Who got snubbed? Shout your picks below, and we'll see you next time.